Hey Upward Coaches, welcome to week number 6 and another very interesting question in the midweek huddle devotion time. The question this week is, why did God send Jesus? And I think that people try to complicate the answer to this question, but Luke cuts right to the chase. I want to read you a verse out of Luke chapter 19 verse 10. It says, "For the Son of Man," that's Jesus, "came to seek and to save what was lost." It's a very short, concise definition of why Jesus showed up. He came to seek, look for, and to save what was lost. And I'm not sure that you quite understand many times how many people out there feel lost. I'm not sure I completely understand it. But we sometimes feel lost in many ways. I remember the first time I got into a game when I was playing basketball in my elementary school. I had tried out for the team, I had worked hard in practice, I had worked on my free throws, I'd worked on my layups, and I really was ready to go. And I was sitting on the bench, and I remember it was in a very small gym, so much so that we had to put our feet underneath the bench in order to keep it off the floor because it was like right there. And my coach looked down the bench, he said, "Brody, get in the game." And I was like, "Great, I'm in." And so I got out on the floor and I realized I had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to dribble, I knew how to shoot, I knew how to do layups, but I didn't know how to play the game. I was lost. And the very first time the person threw the ball in, I stole the ball, and instead of going towards my basket and shooting at it, I went towards the other basket and I made a perfect layup and scored 2 points for the other team. It was a perfect example of what it's like to be lost. And I think when you have kids today, they feel lost in many different areas. They may feel lost on the basketball floor. They may feel lost in their own home. They may feel lost at school, like they never get noticed or they just get overlooked. They may feel lost in life, like no one's paying attention, like everything else is more important than they are. And they may feel lost spiritually. They may not know who God is and they may not have a connection. And that's exactly why Jesus came. To look for those people and to help them understand not only what it's like to be lost because they already know that, but to understand that they don't have to stay lost because of a friendship with Him and through the friendship with His people. And so we have a look at why He came. And there's a story in Luke chapter 15 at the very beginning of it called the Parable of the Lost Sheep. And I would encourage you to read that. It's in verses 3 through 7 of Luke chapter 15, and it might be a very easy story for you to tell your kids of how the shepherd went and looked for that lost sheep. Sheep get distracted, sheep get scared, sheep wander all over the place. They may be some of the dumbest animals on the face of the earth, but their shepherd is there to look for them. And many times we get distracted, and many times we may get lost in life, and Jesus, as our shepherd, comes and looks for us, brings us back in, says, "I want to help you understand who I am. I want to bring you into a group of people who are going to love you, and those are my people. And I want you to have a relationship with them and with me." And that's why I came. And the verse that you have in the Upward curriculum is John 14:6. And it says, "Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me." This is one of the clearest answers to the question of who is Jesus. He is the way, He is the truth, and His word is truth, and He gives life. And He is the only way to have a relationship with God and to spend an eternity in heaven. And that's why Jesus came, to seek after, to look for those people who felt lost in all those different places. Because sometimes we just think, well, it's just the spiritually lost. But a relationship with Jesus and with His people actually creates an environment where we're not lost in a lot of different places. But also, when you start looking at John 14:6, we know that He came to provide a way so that we could spend an eternity with Him and that we're no longer lost spiritually. Sin took us away from Him, made us lost. He got rid of sin. He forgives sin, creates a way for us to be with Him. And that's why He came. And so this week, maybe you use that verse, Luke 19 verse 10. Came to seek and to save what was lost. And it's a lead-in because next week we get to share what Jesus did on the cross so that we could have a friendship with Him. Hope you have a great week. I hope your kids are asking great questions, and I hope you have time this week to just kind of rest and figure out how you want to explain this to your kids. Have a great week. We'll see you at your games on Saturday.